It's time to wake up, witches. I'm your host, Kat Adams, and I'm here to remind you that no matter where you're at in life, you're not stuck. What is up, my friends? How are you doing after that energy of vampire, again, getting rid of the dark doo-doo energy that could be surrounding you and holding you back? Did you do any of those practices? Because I'm gonna admit, I did one. I did a cord cutting. I've never done a cord cutting. I had no idea what I was doing. But I set my intentions out there and I did it. And I'll have to say, this week has been amazing. Like last week when I was recording that podcast episode and I had, that experience with an energy vampire and I was just not feeling so hot because coming back from vacation and just dark doo-doo energy, right? And I set my intentions to have a better week. I did my cord cutting thing to not let those emotions bother me anymore. And it worked. This week has been amazing. It truly worked. It's not even, actually yesterday, someone had brought up an energy vampire to me and they actually, this is kind of crazy. Someone I know who's not very close to me, so they don't know I'm like podcast, books, witchy type chick. But we have this mutual vampire in our life. But we're not close. They actually brought the vampire up to me and they were like, I didn't know you knew this vampire. Every time I'm around that vampire, I feel like stressed, like pressure, just like dark and down. I didn't even have to tell her. I was just like, yeah, exactly. I did not put any of that in her head. She actually came to me saying that. So I was like, man, I feel so validated that this isn't just in my head, that this person is an energy vampire, because this woman didn't even know the term for it. And she was describing it perfectly. So I was like, damn, man. I feel so much better now because, it always feels good to have someone back up your thoughts because sometimes, you'll be like, is it just me or am I imagining things? And especially coming from a background where you've been gaslit for a long fucking time, you always question yourself. So I felt good about it and no more since the cord cutting, no more. I'm not letting that energy affect me and it hasn't. And again, like that whole validation, it kind of sealed the deal for me. It kind of made me feel like, okay, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm not gonna go back to that place. And I truly feel at peace. I guess that's how I could describe it. I feel at peace with letting go like that, if that makes sense. So if you haven't tried it, do some cord cutting. It was awesome. Highly recommend. Let's see, what else did I do this week? I went and saw the Barbie movie with my husband and my daughter and one of her friends. And it was awesome. It was awesome. But you knew there was going to be a but. It wasn't savage enough. It was not savage enough on the patriarchy. It wasn't. So I definitely think there could have been some savagery, some more fuckery going on in there. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen it, just skip like the next 30 seconds. But one thing I was annoyed by was how she's like, oh, Ken, I'm so sorry, poor Ken, oh, poor Ken, and consoling him. And I'm just like, he stole her house. He was a total douchebag, and she's consoling him. I don't even think he said sorry. And my daughter's friend, who is 12 years old, I brought this up. I was talking about it on the way home, and she said, I know. And she was consoling him, but he didn't console her when she was crying and she was laying on the grass and having a breakdown. And I was so proud of that little girl for noticing that. Like, exactly, man, there is hope for the future generations. So, yeah, that was my only critique. It needed to be more savage, and she just was too forgiving. I guess I'm not that chick. I'm 100% that bitch. And I would not have been, oh, it's okay. You just, fucked my whole life over and stole my kingdom. But yeah, it's fine. No, I don't play like that. But other than that, great movie. Highly recommend. Great message for women, girls, everyone who's ever struggled with the female experience in life. Definitely go check it out, because it kind of gives you a sense of camaraderie. Like, we saw it, what was it, 2 weeks after it came out, and the theater was still packed full of women all wearing pink. And it was just like, it was amazing to see us all come together for this. So here's an idea. Can we do that for other shit too, please? Can we do that for abuse? Can we rally around stopping domestic violence, raising awareness in domestic violence? Just like, we get so excited and we all come together for Barbie. I wish we could do it for other stuff, like child trafficking and all the stuff that we experience. Shootings in school, mass shootings, all that shit. If we could all collectively come together and put our energy towards that, making a statement, because I heard Barbie's like almost hit $1 billion. Maybe by the time this comes out, it will hit $1 billion in revenue or whatever. If we could do that with other movements as well, that would be amazing, because it's sending a message. The Barbie movie and everyone going to go see it and us all coming together is obviously sending a message. I would love to do that with other things. So keep that in the back of your head, keep that energy going, and keep an open mind when you hear of opportunities to make a difference and to speak out and to stand up and not to remain silent. Get your girlfriends together, go to a protest, do something, write your congresswoman, be a congresswoman, run for office. Let's change some shit. Obviously, we need it. So moving on to today's topic, because I don't want to talk about Barbie too much. I originally was going to talk about comfort and just this lifestyle of turning in and give you all my tips and tricks. But I'm like, you know what? It doesn't make sense for me to talk about that just yet, because that's all about raising your vibration. And if you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Raising your vibration? Just hang on a second. It just didn't make sense for me to do that yet, because I have a whole like entire, too much information actually for just one podcast for this comfort turning within type cozy lifestyle that I'm already getting into, because I know it's in August, but I am in the fall mood. And so I have been using these practices, and I've always used these practices for this slowish living lifestyle, or trying to get more into it. And I want to talk about that up until next year. And let me tell you why. August is a learning month, okay? That's when everybody goes back to school. And one of my favorite topics to talk about, which is what this podcast is about today, is law of attraction. And there are a lot of practices that go into law of attraction. And one of those, the biggest one, I feel like, is raising your vibration and doing different things to raise your vibration, to give you those good vibes. And the whole cozy hygge lifestyle and lagom and all the stuff I've been studying plays into that. But first, you need to know, what the heck is law of attraction? Why are you talking about this? What in the world are you trying to say? I'm trying to say, this month we are going to be talking about law of attraction. Well, for this episode, I don't know. I might carry it into 2 episodes. We'll see. And then after that, I kind of want to do several podcasts about practicing with law of attraction up until January of next year when we're putting it all together and we are going after our goals. Because obviously January is a goal setting month for most people. So that's kind of how I want to finish out this year of podcasting. I want to get us all that good juju so we can roll up into 2024 like the badasses we are, getting what we want and what we deserve. But it takes work to get there. So this is going to be the first episode on this kind of, take it as a course, if you will, to get yourself unstuck. You might be thinking, this is the You're Not Stuck podcast. What is she talking about, law of attraction? I absolutely use these practices in my everyday life, and I have attracted, manifested so freaking much beyond my wildest dreams that it's a big part of my life. And I truly believe it's a big part of being not stuck, getting yourself out of situations. It's a whole mindset shift, transformative awakening. And if you're listening, you're like, this chick's crazy. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's worked for me. So let's get started. And I'm just going to have a brief overview of the law of attraction and give you some resources if you want to go into a deeper dive. And we will be going into a deeper dive over the next several months in different topics, mostly raising your vibration topics, how we can do that, how we can change our mindset, because you're not going to accomplish your goals. You're not going to get anywhere unless you absolutely change yourself first. That is why my book that is available now on pre-order, by the way, it's coming out in October. On the front, it says, no, he won't change, but you will. You have to change yourself. You cannot wait on anyone else. No one's coming to save you. I don't know, I say it all the time, but you got to save yourself. And this is a way to get that started. So let me talk to you about law of attraction and what that is. So, I got my best buddy, ChatGPT, with me, who is helping me explain this because there's so much to it and I don't even know where to start. So we're just going to read here what AI, and I need a name for my ChatGPT. We're going to start with what AI is telling me to tell you what law of attraction is. All right, here we go. The law of attraction is a belief or philosophy often associated with the New Thought movement that suggests an individual's thoughts, feelings, and beliefs can influence or attract their reality. According to this idea, positive thoughts are said to draw positive experiences, while negative thoughts lead to undesired outcomes. The premise is that the universe operates through a principle where like attracts like. So by focusing on positive or negative thoughts, one can bring about positive or negative experiences. For proponents of the law of attraction, it's often used as a method to manifest goals, desires, and a more fulfilling life. The law of attraction has been popularized through various books, seminars, and media, most notably in the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Y'all know me in pronunciation. Anyways, it goes on to talk about how some people are skeptical, there's no science behind it, yada, yada, yada. But as with a lot of philosophical and spiritual ideas, the law of attraction is a useful tool for self-improvement and positive thinking. So let's keep that in mind, okay? Let me break it down because you might just be saying, what in the hell is she talking about? It's basically, if you are thinking positive, if you are on the right energetic vibration level with your mindset and your whole being, you can attract whatever else is at that same energy level that you want, that you're going after. And the opposite is true as well. So for instance, if you're negative, that's what you're going to attract. You put trash in your head, you're getting trash out of your head. If you wake up in the morning and you got a flat tire, Monday morning, flat tire, oh shit, what do you say to yourself? This is a horrible start to my Monday. And you know what? You just put that out there. So now you're going to have a horrible start to your Monday. it usually happens that way. Shit starts spiraling. You're late for a meeting. You're late for work. Your boss calls you into the office and your presentation sucked, or, the kids are sick. You got to go pick the kids up. The kids done got sick. That negative shit, it spirals. When you are in that negative mode, you're attracting it back to you. You ever wonder sometimes why do I always attract these douchebags? If you're constantly dating douchebags, it's because you're attracting the douchebags, because you're letting yourself attract the douchebags, because that's what you have accepted. And that's the energy level you're at. We don't want to be at the douchebag energy level. We want to go after our goals. That's hopefully not being with a douchebag. You can do anything you want in your life if you work your ass off at it. And part of that is changing your mindset. Now, again, and I know I've talked about this before, it might not look like how you want it to look. Your dream life might not be what the universe, God, whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, has in line for you. It might not be your purpose. It might not be where you're supposed to be. And that's okay. Because either way, when you are at that place you're supposed to be, you're going to be happy. You're going to be real happy. You're going to feel fulfilled. And you are going to grab life by the balls and say, I'm so glad I listened to Kat Adams when she was talking about that crazy law of attraction stuff. So, like attracts like. Right? As in, don't be a negative doo-doo person, because you're going to attract negative doo-doo people. Positive thinking. And I can say positive thinking and you're just like, oh, that's easy. It's not easy. You have to positive think to where you truly believe it. Like, you have to say it so much to yourself that your subconscious truly starts to believe this is happening. One of my favorite ways to describe this, and I want this as a tattoo, y'all, is Peter Pan. Do you know how Peter Pan is like, what does he say? I'm looking at my visualization board because I think I have it over there somewhere. I don't know his exact words, but I know he's like, think happy thoughts and you'll fly. It is so freaking true. Do you remember that scene where they couldn't think happy thoughts and they had like this magic pixie dust? By the way, I'm spreading magic pixie dust on y'all right now, okay? This is your magic pixie dust. You listen to this, you got that on you already. Now you have to shift your mindset so you can truly fly. And I know if you're still listening, you're like, this bitch is off her rocker. But you absolutely do have to think positive, happy thoughts so you can fly yourself the fuck up out of your situation wherever you're stuck. If it's in a shitty relationship, which I know like most of my audience is listening to this because you're in toxic relationships, this is step one. This is absolutely step one. It's step one in my book as well. Like, you have to change yourself, your mindset. And this is where we're starting. So it's not just, positive thinking. Let me just say, I'm going to have a good day today. And then I'm going to have a good day today. And I'm going to attract $10,000 in my bank account tomorrow. No, that's not how the law of attraction works. Sorry. It's a lot more work than that. But the basic overall concept is, yes, if you put in the work and you get at that energy level, you're going to get back what you're putting in. And it is awesome sauce. I don't want to go into too much detail about how I came into the law of attraction and what it's done in my life, because I talk about that in my book and I don't want to spoil anything. But mind blown, y'all. Freaking mind blown when I started putting this into practice. And when someone came in my life who taught me about this, and I was like, this is bullshit. Straight up, this is bullshit. This dude's crazy. Seriously, I thought he was crazy. Multi-million-dollar self-made man, thought he was crazy. He wasn't. He was not crazy, because I was like, I'm going to try it. Let's just see. This is stupid. What do I have to lose? And it freaking worked, and it blew my mind. And here I am today doing what I love. Happy, independent woman, got me the job I want. Like, I'm happy, y'all. I love my life. Can you say that about yours? Are you happy? Do you love your life? Do you find joy in your life? If the answer is no, you should try this. And if you're still skeptical, try it anyways. Another way you can look at this law of attraction is if you know about the placebo effect, right? So if you have like 2 pills, the doctor gives you 2 pills, and one is a true Tylenol to get rid of your headache, and the other one's just a sugar pill. And you take that sugar pill thinking it's the Tylenol, and then you're like, my headache's gone. You just freaking cured yourself. How does that work? I don't know. It's like the power of positive thinking. It's what your beliefs and what your thoughts are, you can manifest into your reality, even curing your headaches. Now, does this work for everything? I don't know. I'm not going to say it's like going to cure cancer or something. I don't know. I have seen some books out there where people are like, they're using this to cure, I'm not saying cancer or anything like that, but I think I've seen it on things like, I don't know, just some kind of sicknesses, just feeling crappy all the time. We'll just say, I don't know, happiness. I don't know. Some people, they have like all this fatigue or whatever, and they transform their life. And I am not going down that road. I'm going to start using it in the context of getting out of your situation and feeling the stability you need to get out of that situation, whatever that may be, because this is the You're Not Stuck podcast. So if you're listening, I'm assuming you are stuck. So we're going to use this law of attraction to be ready for the new year, because I know you're like, why are you talking about in August? Dude, it is just around the corner. We are over halfway done with this year, and I want to be ready for next year. I want to be ready for even a more magical year than this year. So now that you know the basic concepts of law of attraction, or not concepts, but what it is, not how to practice it, because that's coming later, but what it is, you have a choice. It's in your hands right now. Do you want to try this? Do you want to start now, today, with this? Do you want to turn me off and never listen to me again and be like, she's crazy, this is not going to work for me? Or do you want to just give it a go, like I did when I said, this is bullshit, but I'm going to try it anyways? The choice is yours right now. You can tune in, you can tune out, but I have transformed my life using these tools. So I am definitely vocal about it. And I hope once it starts working in your life, you can be too. You can expect over the next several podcasts that we're going to go over different things that will all play into the practice of using the law of attraction in your life. And you're probably using it even not knowing, not realizing. A lot of people use prayer in their law of attraction. They're, putting those wishes out there. They're believing it. They're like, oh, God's going to help me no matter what. I know it. And, that kind of belief right there is a part of law of attraction. We're going to be doing things like talking about meditation, which, oh my gosh, I have a love-hate relationship with. We're going to be talking about affirmations, vision boards, gratitude practices, raising your vibration in all different kinds of ways. We're going to be talking about mostly how we can use this for ourselves to grow and to get where we need to go. But I'm going to throw some fun stuff in there as well. If you want to start this journey with me, I am starting it with you as well, because I've used this, like I said, several times in my life. I still use most of the practices daily, but I want to jump into it again, like balls to the wall, jump into it. And I really want to crack down on this so I can have an amazing rest of the year and an even better next year. So I'm going to be doing this with you, and we're going to do it piece by piece. So today you are just being introduced to the law of attraction. Now you kind of got a basic concept of what that is. And if you want any further reading on this before we start, going into the deep dive on how to do it and put these practices in our life, I highly recommend some of these people, writers, podcasters. My favorite is Francesca Amber. She has a podcast called Law of Attraction Changed My Life. And I love it so much that I'm even part of her Patreon, which is called like the Bad Bitches Book Club or something. I don't know, something like that. Bad Book Club Bitches. It's a Book Club Bitches. And they do these transformative books every single month. So I've got so much education just from, I'm not even gonna lie here, not reading the books, but just listen to the podcast and her talk about it. Cause, I have a lot of time on my commute back and forth taking my little girl to school, and I love it. I devour it. And she is a testimony to the law of attraction. It has changed her life. Y'all, she went from being like a mom with 2 little twins and another little girl during like losing her business, I think, during the pandemic, to now she is a wealthy woman, y'all. Oh my gosh, just go check her out. I'll drop a link to her podcast in the show notes. So definitely highly recommend. I would probably start there with the podcast. If you're more of a book person, like I already mentioned, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, whatever, that's a good one to start with as well. I'm going to drop all these links to the books in the show notes. Another one that is probably my favorite, I think I actually like this one more than The Secret, was Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Now that's pretty woo-woo, y'all. It is pretty woo-woo because that is really far out there, let me tell you. But I freaking love it. And that's the one that I use to get my desires in the last 2 years of my life. So definitely highly recommend that. And I'm clicking, if you hear me clicking, I'm clicking because I'm trying to get the names of all these authors that I want to recommend to you. Another one, if you're on the more skeptical side, I recommend a book called Why Woo-Woo Works by David R. Hamilton, PhD. Y'all, he is a doctor, so he's got to know shit, right? We hope. I don't know. What is that doctor that Oprah used to talk about, that quack? He don't know his shit, obviously. That dude's crazy. Dr. Oz. Oh, Lord Jesus. No, this ain't no Dr. Oz shit, all right? I highly recommend this book. I've read it. It's amazing. It does offer a lot of explanations as to why woo-woo works and what's, going on in our brains and all that other crap. Another one is called Real Magic, Ancient Wisdom, Modern Science, and a Guide to the Secret Power of the Universe by Dean Radin, also a doctor. That one was pretty over my head. I'm just going to admit there's a lot of scientific stuff in there that was just, I kind of tuned out because it was too much for me. It was like all these analytical data things on how this law of attraction type deal works. And it was confusing, but the parts I understood were like, oh my gosh, that's freaking, why doesn't everybody know this? This is a secret. And 2 more I want to talk about that's more entertainment. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Y'all, I am so horrible at pronunciation, but you know this now if you've been listening to me. The Alchemist has a very law of attraction vibe to it. I highly recommend if you want to kind of see how this works. It's a story about a man who goes on a journey, which is exactly what this is going to be for you. You're going to go on a journey. We're going to go on a journey together. And once you read my book, you're going to learn that I call this journey the shitty adventure. But there is an amazing other side out there. As you can see in The Alchemist, if you go read that book, because you might have a similar journey, you probably will. And last but not least, I love this book. It was so much fun. It's called A Year of Mystical Thinking by Emma Howarth. I actually listened to the audio version and she's got that British accent. So it's very soothing. And it was fun. She tries a different like mystical thing every month. Like one month she'll try astrology and then the next month she'll try Reiki. She'll try Reiki. And when she did that, I actually went and I tried it too. I will have to tell y'all my experiences someday on that. I went to like this real practitioner woman. I don't know. It was wild. But it breaks down some of the woo-woo practices and it just goes by a clear month to month. Oh, well, I'm going to try this month and see it works. I'm going to try this month and see it works. And you could do that too. Try something for a month and see if it works. Even just like meditation. Try meditation for 1 month. You know, you don't have to go all crazy. I'm going to put someone's name in a jar and put it in my freezer. Although if you want to, I can give you some tips on that. But no, you can just start with this very slow level transformative process on changing your mindset. Cause that's what it is. It's changing your mindset and changing yourself. And once you do that, everything's going to fall into place and it's going to click and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have been the key to getting unstuck my entire life. And you probably don't know that now, but once you do this whole complete journey, you're going to realize it. And you're going to do it several times in your life when you want different things. And that's okay because it's an ebb and flow. So put on your big girl panties. I am so excited. I didn't even know I was going to do this. I thought I was going to be talking about like cozy mugs and chicken and dumpling soups and just making yourself feel good. But now I got a plan and I'm excited to be doing this together. So if you are truly wanting to do this journey with me, let me know. Send me a comment on Instagram or a DM. Slide into my DMs on Instagram or TikTok and let me know what you want me to talk about. What do you want me to cover? Is there anything you want me to drone on and on about in this woo-woo lifestyle? And if you're like, I'm not listening to this anymore, I'm not woo-woo, then, you know, that's totally fine too. But don't knock it till you try it. What do you have to lose at this point? And if you're listening to this podcast and you're stuck in a shitty situation, truly, what do you have to lose at this point? So let's do this together because y'all are all badass women. And while we have this great Barbie energy flowing through us and all these changes happening, let's start doing some changes within. So we are going to start this autumn, fall season out with a bunch of growth. I know that's like opposite because growth starts in spring, but not for us. Not for us, witches. We're starting right now. Thank you so much for listening. If you love the show, please leave a rating, a review. And if you know anyone who also might love the show or who could benefit from this information, please be sure to share it and subscribe. The more we get this out to people, the more people we can help. And I truly believe there's so many women who need to hear these words because so many women are feeling stuck. Also, if you're looking for me, you can usually find me on the gram at author Kat Adams, and be sure to head over to my website, and that's Kat Adams, Adams with a double D's.com. Subscribe to my newsletter for the latest information. Also, when you subscribe, you're going to get a free novella. And just be forewarned, my raunchy rom-com is as dirty as my mouth. So if that's your thing, go for it. It's super hilarious. But thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, please stay safe and I'll see you on the other side.